Hi, my name is Arta, and today I will be looking at your website. I can suggest to maybe take a little bit of a note paper where you can write down a specific time in case I talked about something that you would like to look back at later. So it's easier to find if I said something at 1 minute and 25 seconds that you would like to remember. That's how I usually suggest to take little bookmarks. Okay, so let's take a look at your site. First, when I arrive, I can see that you have a logo that is very clear and it's saying lighting rental. So I right away see lights and understand that I can rent this. I see that you are using a very minimal style, clean fonts, not a lot of accents or effects. So I will be going through and addressing some things that I would suggest to change or improve on your site. Initially, I thought this was more of like a lamp directory where you could see or read more about different types of lamps. And then for example, I click on one and I realized that there's mostly only the titles, and I see that these are photos that are not also clickable. It doesn't go deeper explaining what the lamp is or what it does. And a side note is that text like this, which is included inside of the photo, will not be picked up by search engines like Google. So for example, if someone in Google enters this title, it might not show up in the search, so your shop might not show up at all to someone trying to find this lamp. So the suggestion would definitely be to make sure that images, only the lamps are images, and the text that is right here, you would write it by hand on the Wix editing site when you're editing the site. And yeah, so the initial thought was, I wish that there was more of an elevator pitch or a hook about your business. I understand you're going more in a more minimal route, but I will show you an example from another site right here. It's maybe a little bit too much, or also this. I will say that the style here is older, but the amount of information and notes, the photos, different sections, and here as well this little banner that is showing some product pricing is attracts a lot more attention, and you want to stay here and browse a little bit and read a little bit, maybe learn something new. So I'm thinking for your site, I would suggest having maybe a header image that is this big, around this height, and it doesn't have to be right away busy and overwhelming, because I see that you're very minimal. It can be a very simple, attractive photo to look at. There's a lot of free photos on unsplash.com or pexels.com, and yeah, if you add a bit of a main title and subtitle, so a hook or elevator pitch, then it would help to make it more clear to your visitor in the first couple of seconds what type of site it is, what it offers, maybe a unique perspective on your business. Maybe it's the biggest rental studio in Hungary, or some sort of thing that would give you a bit more personality, and so you would have more presence and feeling of professionalism on the site. now I will talk a bit more about some of the stylistic aspects. So usually if the site is all one color, and in your case almost just black and white, I would suggest to maybe have a colored menu, but to keep it minimal, you could also just have the menu area black. So this top bar would be black, and this text would be colored white, and also logo could be white. So that would be a stylistic thing that I personally would think would look very good for you. Very classic, clean, minimal. And yeah, and I see that your style is also to use lowercase titles here as well, and in the logo. But the more I was browsing and also seeing some all caps titles, I believe that a more professional elevated look would be if you kept either all capital letters for the menu items and these category titles as well. I think the logo is a stylistic choice, and having it a lowercase looks good and professional, so always good. But perhaps there's some places where it's better to keep it in caps, and I would also avoid spacing it out too much. It's a fun thing to do. I do it in my design somewhere, but this would be more as a design aspect or accent. So for now, for sections like this, you want to be more professional than fun or unique when it comes to design. It has to be very clear, simple, readable, and I would say for now it takes a little bit away from the professional aspect if you have lowercase titles for your section, yeah, for the each item. So here I liked that there's like a hover for the color changing. It initiates that it's a button. Let's see what happens when I click it. Okay, I get a download. Okay, the form. So I would say this is okay. Maybe there should be a description on what happens when you click this button, like download our newest ABCD. I'm not sure what would it be, but introducing the visitor as to what happens when you click on this button would be a very good and also important thing to do. I would suggest making this button smaller, so it would be exactly where the text is, taking out this extra space, even though I see that stylistically it matches all the sides and it's going equally all the way down, so that I understand. But from a professional perspective, we don't have to have it like so. It would be more neat if you just have the size of the button that it is with the size of the text. As I go here, and here in a more artistic design perspective, I think using lowercase for sections that are dividing the page in some ways actually is quite interesting. So here would be the little reference to your logo where you use a lowercase, and this would be your place to play around to use this. But if you use lowercase everywhere, it loses a bit of the professionalism. So I say use it only where it's not extremely important to be super professional. Going further, I see that you have this form. There's a few things that I would want to say about it as well. When I hover on each of these items, it changes color and has a little bit of a weight change in the outline, which Normally we would do this same like here with the button. It means there's certain action, you can click it, there's a button like here, this is a button. But for a more standard and professional design, I would say to take off the hover possibilities on these buttons. Just leave it currently like this red one is. I just click it and it makes sense because the cursor changes to the text cursor, and we have already had internet for so long that everyone knows that means right away that it's a text field and we can write in. So I would say to take away the additional animation would bring more clarity. Another thing about this form is I would suggest having a separate also contact page. I'm not sure what it says here. It could be that it's about contact, but on the very initial landing page you might want to have a very short contact form. For example, name, email, and message. This would encourage someone to message you in case they just wanted to ask a quick question, or they had a quick concern, or they forgot something about their order, or a very quick message option. And those who want to do all of the other details to fill in could have a different contact or fill in form section. So that would make it how to say, if I see this and I just wanted to quickly contact you, I might be deterred away because there's so many to fill in and it's almost like feels like another job. So here I can't really understand in this language if it's specifically about the product that you're choosing and want to rent right away. So that's why I would say it's good to have a quick contact area and fill in the order form area. I see that you also have email here, which could be another quick message place where if someone sees your email, they will click on it and their email application is popping up and they fill it in and send you an email. But right now I see that I can't click on it, and for some reason I also can't okay, it's an image, so I can't copy it because it's a photo. So all of this, the address, the phone numbers, and the email should be possible to copy or click on. I understand that you don't want robots to find your phone and email, but then perhaps it's better to have a quick message form where you don't have to show your email. So a person just puts in their name, their own email, and the quick message. Okay, that would be about the contact area. Now I wanted to talk a bit more about once we land on these different types of lamps. For example, I click on here and I come to the stands. I see that, yeah, okay, so the text here is also embedded in the photo, so we want to write it out on the web page so Google can find it. That would be one thing. However, I was thinking that your site might be seen both by professionals as well as beginners, or people just starting out in the field, or people who are just trying to learn and understand what certain lamp means or where is it used. So to make your site even more easy to find on Google, and for people to stay longer and explore and be more interested, I would say that having each of these sections could have each of the lamp, for example, on the left side right here. Let's say all four were like 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the right side we would have the title or the product name. You could have a little bit more insight on where it is used or what it is for and or what it means. I personally don't know much about this type of professional lighting, but I would be curious because I enjoyed understanding how it is behind the scenes and what people use. And perhaps me as a, let's say, a beginner, I know that I needed this light, and I suddenly see these other descriptions for these 3 lights, and I start reading about it and learning that, hey, maybe this one is also really good for me and my project that I didn't really think about, because there's a different aspect that I just learned about it. So these descriptions would be easy to Google if someone said they would like to have someone Googled that they would like to have the ARRIT2 light, where to get or where to rent, they might land on this page and get more information on all these other things that they didn't know that they maybe also needed or didn't understand how to use in the past. So I think this is hard to do, of course, to get to write it all and to think about all the keywords and descriptions, that it could be very valuable for your site and business in the long run. And here I wanted to show you a little bit again on this other site. Let's say we go to light, and here they have a lot of information or descriptions, but even a small little list like this is very interesting to read. It's clear. You quickly can understand, you know what you're getting when you're searching the site, what is there, and what you as a business are about. It gives certain credibility that you know what you're talking about as well. So I would say that's quite an interesting and also important thing to add. Let's click on accessories. Yeah, so there's all sorts of things and descriptions. So this is a lot more effort to do, but maybe slowly it could be incorporated, and this will also give you a lot more visit clicks over time. People will find your site because they were Googling for something, and I think that change would be very important for especially a site that has all sorts of devices that maybe we don't really know what each thing is for specifically. Maybe someone thought that they needed this one, but turned out they needed, I don't know, this one. And who knows, maybe if the rent for this one was higher than perhaps for you, it's also beneficial that someone chose something additionally to rent or the higher priced item. So yeah, it's almost like selling like a bundle deal. You're selling your service and horning, and someone might add extra things to their order. As for the photos here, I feel like they look better without the circle, a lot more clean and modern. I understand that here you are going with a certain style. You have the 1 pixel line and 1 pixel circle and the thin text, but I feel like it did look more professional just without the circle. So I would suggest to just take the circle out and changing the fonts for these titles to more sturdy and clean titles, and overall you have a really nice site, and I think from here on out you can slowly build upon it, add more information, maybe add a photo here, a photo there, and see if you want to add a little business description or a little bit more in a level that would be a bit more personal, because so you don't, as a visitor, I don't want to feel like I'm only looking at a warehouse. I want to make sure that there's someone who cares about my order on the other side. So that's what you want your business to look like, to make sure that it doesn't look too minimal and have a little bit extra personality added. So yeah, and you would do that with more text and a bit more personal additions. So yeah, overall you have a great site. Thank you for ordering, and let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, have a good day.